Canadian agriculture and agri-food are heavily reliant on export markets and trade. It is estimated that more than 50% of agricultural production is exported either directly or indirectly as processed agri-food products. In 2018, Canada was one of the 5th largest exporters of agricultural commodities and one of the top 15 largest exporters of agri-food products. So export markets play a significant role in supporting farm income and profits of food processors. In this short clip, we'll investigate Canadian exports under 2 different angles, from a commodity standpoint and from an export market perspective. Let's first look at the most traded commodities and agri-food products in the world. There's a long list that are heavily traded. And in this list, you'll find pulses, soybeans, wheat, corn, some beef and pork products, chocolate, food preparations, rice, citrus fruits, some varieties of nuts, palm oil, poultry, and cheese. This list is about size and volume. This is the most heavily traded imports or goods in the world. Now let's look at our list of top Canadian exports, including pulses, soybeans, wheat, corn, cattle and beef, hogs, pork, chocolate, bread, food preparations, canola seeds and oil, tomatoes, some prepared vegetables. You're likely to starting to see a little overlap between this list versus the one on the left-hand side. No surprises here. We are not considered a large exporter of citrus fruits. We're also the top exporter of canola seeds and oil, yet these exports would not be considered as one of the top 15 exports in the world. Finally, thinking of potential, we can look at the fastest growing imports. Pulses, soybeans, canola seeds and oil, food preparations, some specific pork and beef products are making a list. But so are onions, coconuts, butter, and palm oil. A useful exercise is to look where there's overlap. That is, the commodities of food products that are featured in at least 2 of the categories, or even ideally in all 3 of the categories. There are a few products that qualify as meeting all 3 criteria. Pulses, soybeans, and food preparations are examples that meet all 3 conditions, highlighting potential for Canada to grow its exports. Other commodities of food products meet 2 of the 3 conditions and offer significant potential. Canola seeds and oil are an example. Beef and pork products qualify as high potential for some specific product lines. The United States is the largest market for Canadian agriculture and agri-food exports. Its market share has varied over time, but it has almost always accounted for at least 50% of what we export. Of course, this market varies by commodity or product. In the case of crops, the share of the U.S. is less than 50%. When it comes to processed food, the U.S. share of our exports approaches 70%. When a market represents a sizable share of what we export, it is normal and desirable, perhaps, to want to diversify exports to manage risks related to market access, or simply the idea that we can lose competitiveness for any given reason in any given market at any given time. Let's use wheat as an example. Egypt was the largest wheat importing country in 2018, followed by Indonesia, Italy, the Philippines, Japan, Brazil, Nigeria, Spain, Turkey, and the Netherlands. Many of these countries are also top export markets for Canada, for example, Indonesia, Japan, and Nigeria. But our largest export destination for Canadian wheat is the US. The US market was the 15th largest importer in 2018. Where are wheat imports growing the fastest? Philippines, Chile, the Netherlands are examples of fast-growing importers in recent years. These have not been very significant destinations for Canadian wheat and present an opportunity for us to diversify the countries we export wheat to. Bottom line is that competitiveness and diversification are 2 key drivers of farm income and profits of food processors. There are many other drivers, such as market access rules, exchange rates, etc., that have an impact on our ability to export, but we have little control over these. Our ability to be competitive in foreign markets is tied to innovation and investments in lifting our productivity across the entire supply chain. Do you know what makes your products competitive in foreign markets?